If you are like the majority of individuals, there is a gap between who you are and who you want to be. There are little tasks you believe you should do and large goals you should accomplish. From exercising often, eating properly, learning a language, working on a book, reading more, or just engaging in your interests as opposed to perusing Reddit. However, it sometimes seems that in order to achieve your objectives, you must change your personality. A person with consistency, more effort, discipline, and willpower. Perhaps you have made every effort to be like that, and it succeeded for some time until you find yourself reverting to your previous ways. Ultimately, you always seem to fail, and with its failure, you feel more upset and irritated with yourself. Hello everyone, welcome to Success Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about life-changing habits for 2022. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. If you believe in success and hustle on the internet, you're solely responsible for your failure. If you don't succeed, it's because you didn't want it badly enough. But change is difficult. As with the majority of things in life, knowing why makes things simpler. The jungle. Think of your brain as a dense, lush jungle. Moving through it, like when you're trying to decide what to do, is like moving through a real jungle. It's hard, it takes a lot of energy. Your brain doesn't like using energy, so it came up with a trick. All of your actions and behaviors leave trails in the jungle of your brain. As you start doing something, you step on some plants and make rough, improvised paths through the undergrowth. The trail becomes clearer the more often you do the thing. Over time, it becomes an easier path to walk on, so you do it more often until it becomes a street. When you do something over and over again for years, the street becomes a highway. It becomes easy, familiar, and comfortable to get around it. The clearer your brain's highways are, the more comfortable they feel. So we keep using them, which means we tend to keep doing the same things we've always done. This is why it's hard to make changes, especially when you're an adult and your jungle already has a lot of roads and streets. To figure out how those highways are put together, we need to know the difference between routines and habits. Routines and habits are the things you do. A routine is a set of actions that you do the same way every time because they work well for you. For example, to make your favorite dish, you buy the same ingredients and cook them in a certain order because you like the way it tastes. Or before you go to sleep, you set an alarm for 6:30, which is when you want to wake up. Imagine how a smart planner would handle routines. It's slow and logical, and it's in charge of making plans and doing mental math. The planner knows what will happen and carefully thinks about why you want to happen. Using this information, it chooses actions that will lead to certain results, even if they're uncomfortable, like taking a shower after getting up. Routines can turn into life-changing habits for 2022, which feel much easier because they are just a series of actions that are done without thinking. You've done them so many times that your brain thinks they are fun and a good way to handle a situation. So a habit can make you feel like you're flying by yourself. When something is a habit, you don't have to try to get yourself to do it. You just do it. The most important thing about habits is that they are started by triggers, which can be single things or whole situations. Triggers tell your brain to start the behavior or action. You already have a lot of triggers in your life. Like when you see your phone, you almost always open it. Or when you get into a car, you reach for the seatbelt. Or you get a cookie when you buy coffee on your way to work, even though you're not hungry. A toddler who acts on impulse does things by habit. It responds to what's around you and what you want right now, without any longer-term goals in mind. For the toddler, there is no future, and he doesn't like to work hard. So when it sees a trigger, it sends you down this easy path in your brain that leads to a familiar reward, because that's what you do every morning. If you get coffee, the toddler also wants a cookie. Most of your bad habits started because something made you feel good. For example, chocolate tastes good, and reading Reddit can be mildly entertaining sometimes. This is why you do these things, even though they hurt you. When an action makes you feel good, you want to do it again, and a bad habit is born. Even though the toddler appears to be a built-in way to cause havoc, it is just as important as being a wise planner, and they usually work together. To think big thoughts, park in parallel, and do your taxes. You need a wise planner, but it would take too much energy to let your wise planner do everything. By handing over simple, repetitive tasks tasks to habits, which are managed by your toddler, your brain can easily take care of your daily life while also dealing with more difficult mental challenges. So if you want to make a change and start doing something different, we can use these ways to save energy to make it easier. We'll pay attention to little things, not big ones. It's much better to make small changes in your life than to aim high and make no changes. Even more so, because small changes can make a big difference over time. Before we continue to tackle life-changing habits for 2022, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to make change easier, it might not be best to use your willpower to make it happen, but to trick your brain into thinking it's not that big of a deal by coming up with new ways to do things and making them into habits. You want your smart planner to make that first move, and then you want your toddler to help you easily start the action. Say you want to work out to get in better shape, which is a very common goal. The first step is to break this pretty vague goal down into clear, separate steps. The idea is to make each step as easy as possible, small enough to be doable, and specific enough that you don't have to think about it too much. As an example, doing 10 squats every morning could be a real, controllable action. So you can start by trying to set up a routine, but you should also include clear cues that the toddler can learn to recognize later. Remember that a trigger is just a sign that you always think of when you want to do something. They can be things like seeing a certain object, like your training clothes, or a certain time of a day, or a certain place, like a nearby park, or even better, all of these things together. What's important is that you always start doing something in a certain situation. This is the start button that will eventually cause the action to happen on its own. So if you want to start a home workout routine with 10 squats, you could always do them in the same place and at the same time, like in your living room at 8 a.m. Once you know what makes you do something, all you have to do is do it often, ideally every day. If you keep going, they will go from being a routine to being a habit, and from being a path to being a highway. Don't get me wrong, you still need energy to do the squats, but choosing to do them will feel less like a chore and more like a normal part of your day. Even though this is easy, it is not simple. Many things you want to do regularly don't give you as much immediate pleasure as wasting time on Reddit. Try to make the new things the toddler wants to do fun. This will make it easier for the toddler to repeat and more likely for the toddler to learn it. Not always by giving yourself a reward afterward, but by making the action or behavior itself more fun. Like only listening to your favorite podcast when you work out or working on your taxes while you wait for the next round of civilization to load. You need to find out what works for you in order to have life-changing habits for 2022. In a general sense, that's it. Frustratingly easy, like most things you can do to make your life better. How long it takes your toddler to take over and form a habit depends on a lot of things. It depends on what you're trying to get used to, who you are, how stressed you are, and a lot of other things. It can take anywhere from 15 to 250 days for a trigger to make a new habit happen automatically. You won't be able to tell how long it will take. The easy part is getting started, especially in the first week or two. The hard part is to keep doing it every day, but it does get easier as you keep going. There are no easy ways to make things better, but the science of habits shows that no matter how old or young you are, it is possible. Even if you only do a little more good stuff or a few new things, that's still a success. Being a little bit healthier or smarter is much better than being unhappy about something and not doing anything about it. In the end, change is a path, not a place to end up. We've reached the end of another video, and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned the life-changing habits for 2022. If you like this video, do give us a like. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below. Thank you and goodbye.